Well, good morning, everybody. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead a little bit here. We're about 20 minutes ahead of schedule here today. Get this all clamped down here a little bit better. All right. Let me know if the audio is coming through. I was on the road here using my portable sound system and don't know how it is all working here, if it's all hooked up the right way. Waylon, am I coming through all right here this morning, buddy? You hear me? Okay. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Morning. Good morning to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Morning, Karen. Good morning. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. After that one little mishap where the audio just decided, all my drivers and my computer decided to go on mute, I learned how to get in there and switch all that around. So I was on a spree. They flew me down to Sioux Falls for 2 days, flew me to Bismarck during those hailstorms and that tornado. That's different seeing it from up in about 30,000 feet in a tiny airplane. And then came back Thursday night back here. So, yeehaw. Hmm. Hmm. I'm thinking this thing went bad. Whoops. Okay. Uh, so starting in 2020, I started taking this ivermectin. Okay. And everybody told me that I was going to die because it was meant for cattle and not humans. Morning, Mr. Mayor. And so this is a 1,000 milliliter bottle that I bought in 2020. And I've been taking it at least once a week. I mean, you guys have been watching me on YouTube for many, many years now. And you kind of seen going through what I've been doing. Anyway, it is, you can see the level is right here in 6 years. Morning, Mike. Here's the expiration date. So I need to get a new bottle. That's 3 years expired. June of 2023. It is June of 2026. I don't know if it goes bad or not. Who knows? But evidently, I was supposed to die in the first 3 months from taking this, and here I am. Yeah, you guys wish I did. Morning, Wayne. Like my shirt here. I got branding this morning down in the South Dakota border. So yeah, I'd have my jacket, my vest, my suit coat on top of it, but uh, it is friggin' hot. It's gonna be like 95 degrees today with 30 plus mile an hour winds. And we tried to dress up for brandings. Let me tell you, it doesn't. We try not to break character, but today it just might have to break character a little bit. Thank you, Karen. It's the only tie I have that I can wear to brandings that I don't care if it gets messed up. Oh, I should probably send you guys a spot block, I suppose, huh? Good morning, Coachies.
Howdy.
Let me turn your mic on so everybody can hear you loud and clear. I forgot to send my spot block commercials to everybody. Let me get that done here quickly. Right there. Is it 6/6? June 6th today, huh? Okay. I'm sorry I didn't get this sooner here. KGFX, K-Fire, KCJB, Kawoli. I'm going to get this emailed off to you guys real quick. June 6. There. It should be sent to you. I should probably get my stuff ready, too.
I'm going to run up to the pickup and grab a chew.
Sounds good. Let's see. Where am I here? That one. That one. That one. Did JP brand his calves? That is today. That's why I'm dressed up there, Mr. Bulgy. That is where I am headed. I got the horse saddled. I got all my castrating supplies. He doesn't need a horse, but I take a horse because sorting in that big ass pen of his, it's a lot easier when you're on horseback. And but yeah, that's today. He's gonna have them probably rounded up by the time I get there because of my show here. I have to do this morning. So there you go. Yeah. So that is this morning. Dave, good morning from Minnesota. You guys run out of Somalians yet? Slide a window down there. Slide one of those up. Open, yeah. Just pull them from the bottom up there. Freaking hot in here. Get some airflow. It's going to be a sweaty ball day type of day today. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to hear John, am I?
What's that?
I said I'm not going to be able to hear John. Don't you have John Arman on?
Put your earphones in.
You have earphones?
They're hanging on the mic.
Oh, those are nice.
Not going to hear. Come on.
But the last time I was out here, I wasn't able to. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I've upgraded. I bought headphones on Amazon.
Look at you go.
Look at me. I'm gonna try to do a different. Still going to be broadcast on YouTube, but I'm going to try to do a different format so I can get rid of all this equipment, and I can do it from anywhere I travel to.
Nice.
It'll be nice because I have all this extra equipment down here, and it is not necessary anymore. Oh. Well, hopefully this wind don't blow my bullets off course. Yeah, that's right. You're competing in that. So,
Is that Wayne?
The mayor of Mobridge. Wayne says good morning to you, though.
Good morning, Dakota Prairie Outdoors.
And what the heck was I going to look up here? Oh, yeah. So I purchased the 250th anniversary Derringer for the North Dakota High School Rodeo Association, and the deal that the lady gave me, because I ordered it through Ace Hardware in Bowman, because they usually end up buying, so they have the trap shoot portion of the high school rodeo finals and the small bore shoot. And I used to run this for many, many years. I stepped away from doing it because it was time for somebody else to step up, right? And so James Harriman took it over, and let me tell you, they kept me on as they well, would you still want to sponsor a gun? I'm like, absolutely. I'll still sponsor one. So I got the 250th birthday Derringer 45 410. Some of you guys have seen it on my Facebook post. You can't see the engraving there. And on the other side, it has the 250th engraving. It's a very fancy little pistol. And anyway, that's coming up here in the middle of June, I believe, the high school rodeo finals. They've been held in Bowman for over 30 plus years in a row on the bid, which surprises me because there's a lot of places that built some pretty fancy facilities now. So, yeah. So, there you go. So that's that. That's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, the wind's going to pick up this afternoon like crazy. Going to be a dirty one and hot.
At least it'll be windy and hot.
Windy and hot.
That's always the
The
best.
nice thing is if it's windy enough, there's not going to be any mosquitoes.
True story.
So, but if it's hot and windy, we need a designated driver to get back home.
No shit.
Just saying that right now. That's all. That is a lot of highway miles, my friend.
How far is it from
here?
Yeah.
To the branding pasture, about 82 miles.
Oh.
Now,
call.
I could make that gravel all except for 12 miles. I'd have to take blacktop at least 12 miles. Well, no, I got to drop Pagel off, so it's going to be more than that. So, but otherwise I could make a lot of gravel out of it. All right, stations. Let's see here. 8 o'clock Central Time. 8 o'clock Central Time coming up here shortly. Give you the time, and then you can see what the leg is on your clocks. On Mark. All right, let's call Mr. Johnny Arman and see if he's available. It's loud. Johnny Ringo. John and John.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Arman.
How you doing?
It's Murphy. How are you?
Well, I'm hanging in there.
I got Master John from Minnesota came out and visited me, so he's on the other microphone.
Don't judge me about the state, though. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
don't
saying.
judge him with all the Somalians he tried to bring into the state of North Dakota here.
I was looking at your post. I thought you screwed up. I'm like, you calling me Master John? You said John Arman and Master John. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
You just got promoted. Good
You
job.
got promoted?
I got promoted.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Master. Patience, grasshopper, patience.
So just so YouTube viewers, when you're looking at Master John's baseball cap that says BBC, this is from a few years ago. It was the Bowman branding crew. It does not stand for what most social media thinks it stands for. And so just to be clear on that.
Bachmeyer's big...
Yeah, well, it could stand for that too, but we can't say that on the air right now.
But it'd be weird if I'm wearing a hat.
It would be weird if you were wearing that, yeah, at the same time.
What can't we say?
Well, I'll tell you after the show is done, so they don't get canceled before it starts. Good grief. Where are you at today, John Arman?
Down at the ranch.
Okay.
Just got off the tractor.
Okay. You still doing food plots, or you spraying right now?
No, I'm trying to get food plots. We blew up our tractor, so I had to go rent one to finish up.
I see. Russ didn't have one for you to borrow over there?
No.
Or Kovars or Platons or anybody?
Well, it's one of those deals. I don't like to borrow equipment because I usually break it. something always happens. So I just went and rented one and took out an insurance policy on it.
There you go.
Oh, good go.
So if anybody's listening, if you buy a tractor that John rented, get it inspected thoroughly, is what you're saying.
Yep.
The mayor says out of Gene Cox out of Mobridge says we should be opening a Leering Center in Rame, North Dakota. That's what
what?
Well, in Minnesota, the Somalians had that. They called it the Learning Center, but they misspelled it, and it was Leering Center.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I understood what he was saying.
That one took me.
I'm not very smart, and I can't spell very good, but I can spell learning.
No. You know, you're a school teacher. You know that.
I know, but remember, I teach special ed kids, so there's a reason.
That's why we love you.
I'm right there with them. That's why I get along with them so well.
Yeah.
It is a nice morning, though.
Yeah, it's a stuffy one over here, man. We got a little bit. We got about 93 hundredths of rain in the last 2 weeks, which is definitely needed, but it came down a little bit quicker than it should have. Didn't really soak in. It kind of ran off. But anyway, yeah, it was needed. But man, we are about 7-8 days away from a drought over here.
That's what I was talking to Corey Hoogland, and he said a lot of his crops already are starting to burn up.
Yep. Yeah, there's the most, I don't know. Scott Bulgy could probably help me out with this, but I traveled over to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I'm telling you right now, the whole southern side, and I mean, it's different when you get on the east side of the river a little bit, but their crops over there don't look as good as they used to. But that whole southern side of South Dakota is dry, man. Way drier than I thought it ever would be.
Wow, because I know like out Oaks area, they've gotten a lot of rain. So
yeah, it's definitely greener on the east side. There's no doubt, but they're still short a lot of moisture. Yeah, and we've been lucky in Bismarck. We've probably gotten 3 inches, but it's not hitting here. Yeah. So then, what is it? Wednesday afternoon, we're flying back from Sioux Falls to Bismarck because we had the Striley Masonry down south by on the way down to University of Mary. There's industrial stuff down there. We had another auction out that way, and we were diverting around all those storm cells coming through. Mm-hmm. That's interesting watching that from up in about 28,000 feet. Pretty cool. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go into it. We had to go through one coming into Bismarck because we had to land. And we thought it was going to be rough. The pilot turned around and he's like, "You boys got your seatbelts tight?" And it was smooth. We didn't have anything. All right, stand by, John. We're going to be starting here in about 20 seconds. Stand by. Stations. Starting here in 15 seconds. 15 seconds on mark. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. We're heard all across the Dakota Territory on great stations like KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota. Got to fly over the top of that here just recently. KOLY in Mobridge, KFire 550 in Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB in Minot, and the Western Edge on KLTC at 106.9. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. Got John Anderson sitting in the side chair over here from Wilmer, Minnesota. Not bringing any Somalians or any kind of learning centers over this way, are you? By any means there? So we got him, and John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures joins me via phone. On the other side here at the ranch, just a little bit out of Flasher, which haven't been back in the home country for a long time, John. How's everything over that way?
Pretty good. I just stopped into the bar last night. They got a new ownership there, and it seems like it's rocking. And the only thing is I didn't know many people in there. It's not like the old days, it seems like.
Did they still call it the Branded Bar?
Yep, they do.
Do you remember what I can't remember what it was before, but you know that building, what it originally was? Back in the late 1900s, it was the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Okay.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because the bar when I was a kid was down on Main Street. That was when they had Myers Cafe down there. It had
Yep.
the bowling alley, and Dishrude's had the hotel. So yeah, things have
There was
changed.
2 bars back in Flasher in the day across the street from myself, but I thought the Knights of Columbus was up on where the bar is now. If
It
you're
could be.
listening in the Raleigh Flash area, let me know if I'm correct remembering that or not, because it's been a long time ago. Long
And
time.
then they added the old elevator. I don't know. I guess I haven't been down there if they tore it down, but they built a new what do they call it? DFC.
Really?
A new building on it would be on the north side across from like the church.
Okay.
Got a big fertilizer. You know, they got a bunch of bins there and stuff, and it's a nice building now. So it can meet a lot of the needs that are needed, so people don't have to go all the way over to New Salem
Yeah.
or to wherever.
Or yeah, Elgin Carson area. All right, so let's talk about food plots here. Are you done planting them in the process? When is it too late to get food plots in to make them worthwhile this fall?
You know, it all depends on the rain, and I'm kind of was wondering why I'm putting it in because we're pretty dry and it's no rain in the forecast. But I guess it can't grow if you don't put it in the ground. But a lot of the stuff you can put in the fall. You know, there's brassicas and things like that you can put in the fall. I put in beans a little bit later than normal. I'm not even sure when. I think most guys put them in by June 1st in that time frame. Putting them in a little bit later doesn't hurt me because then they stay a little greener, you know, for the deer. So, you know, I'm not looking for a crop so much as just forage for the deer. So I just know that after my escapade here in the last couple of days, I'm glad I don't farm for a living.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it crazy when you see these big farmers out there? You got the tractors, big tractors, air seeders, and everything going, and
I
just the
just
amount of money going into that ground to make it work.
It is, and I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it's funny how people will say because we own our own land that it must be nice, and I wish I could hunt like that, and you know it's so easy. And I'm thinking, come out here and sit on a tractor, have your hoses blow, have your hydraulics go, all the stuff that goes with farming with crappy old equipment. And there's nothing easy about it, and there's a lot of time and money that goes in just for kind of doing something for the deer. And I can't even imagine being a farmer and the amount of money that you're gambling on every year to put in the ground and hope it rains and hope you make some money. I don't know how they can do it without stressing out and having a heart attack every year.
Yeah. You know, I was driving back from Missouri last week at this time here, and we were going through some different areas, and it's amazing when you get into more populated areas. You see a lot of these places that have, I mean, a big farm in some of these areas is 500 acres,
I know.
right?
Yep.
And then you see these people that have, you know, whether it's 80 or a 40 or whatever it may be, and they're doing food plots. And it seems to me it depends on where you're at. When you get into Iowa, there was not as fancy by any means. It looked like you just went off to the end of the earth right there. But in Missouri, anyway, driving through there, everybody seemed to have a very new tractor and a new food plot planter, and everything looked a lot newer. And I think that's
Yeah.
the mistake. A lot of people see these hunting shows on national TV, and they, you know, they may have made
A deal.
a sponsored deal with Mahindra tractors or whatever it may be. It's not like that for the rest of everybody else. You're probably on an
No.
old McCormick Deering or an Ellis Chalmers, right? And using an old
Yeah.
Blackhawk corn planter out there. You never know.
Yeah, like my first 4 acres or 5 acres with my corn planter, look back and I'm like, why in the hell isn't the seed going down? And here I forgot to push my latches all the way in to engage everything. So I had a two-row corn plant for a while. So I planted soybeans in between them, and again, it doesn't look pretty, but it does a job for the animals. And I am going to have a visit with my brother. If he wants me to keep farming, we're going to have to upgrade a little bit because the equipment we have is on its last. I mean, I got Packer wheels that are off. I don't even know where you'd find the parts for this stuff that we're running. You know, these old hay busters, and I just came from across the river, and I got 10 horse tractor that I rented. I barely got up the other side of the river crossing. I thought I was going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing but those old tractors, I mean, you got to understand though, they just don't die and they're easy to work on.
Yeah. And we bought we bought one that was, we thought, for, I don't know how many years I was on a no cab, no air conditioning. We got that, and got this nice tractor. I swear every 100 hours we had a $1,500 bill, and my brother forgot to check and it's not his fault, but you wouldn't think he'd have to check the radiator that often, and it overheated it, and it did not light up, and he blew the motor. That's $30,000 for a motor.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So the mayor of Mobridge says that John is using the cutting edge technology from 1958.
Pretty much so. Yeah, there's nothing straight here. There's nothing nice, but the deer don't care.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Eric says he's broke up some pasture this year for some food plots. And you've seen that happen more and more across the country. You've seen a lot of people starting to put more food plots in. And, a lot of people have been doing it for years and years. And farmers, of course. So you see a lot of these guys, they leave strips, whether it's for pheasant or deer or whatever it may be. But, the people in the agricultural side of things, they're taking care of those animals every day.
Oh, they do. Even if they don't leave stuff per se, they're still leaving stuff. I mean, the amount of grain that gets dropped, when you watch see these guys combine a field, go out and look at how much corn, depending on what kind of combine they have. Even the newer ones, I think I've watched some of the guys on these newer ones where they go Mach 10, and it leaves a lot of corn behind. So there's a lot of feed for these animals, even if they don't leave standing crops.
Yeah.
And it's made a difference. I think that's why you've seen the ebbs and flows of, deer numbers and turkey numbers and pheasant numbers. The farming helps it, and sometimes it hurts it. I mean, it's one of those deals that we're different out in the western part of the state because we can't farm everything.
Yeah.
We farm very little because there's not a lot of good ground.
Well, that is true. John, we're up against our first break. We're going to take a little 5-minute little siesta here, so stay with us. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest here. We got John Anderson in the studio with me. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
If you're serious about fishing, your boat better be too. At River City Sports, this isn't just inventory, it's purpose-built fishing machines. From Vexus with advanced infused composite construction to Skeeter for speed and performance to rugged aluminum like the Crestliner Fishhawk. Big water, back lakes, walleye, crappie, whatever you chase, they've got a rig for you. And around here, walleye fishing matters. River City Sports, they'll put you in a boat that's made to fish.
Pfeiffer's Auctioneers will offer over 2,200 acres of cropland, pasture land, and hunting land coming up on the auction calendar across the upper Midwest, including Wells, Rolette, Walsh, Trail, Emmons, and Burley counties in North Dakota, and 315 acres of premier grazing and hunting land on the outskirts of Glendive, Montana. Whether you're looking for productive cropland, quality pasture, or recreational ground, Pfeiffer's has the property for you. Don't miss these outstanding opportunities. For more information and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to Pfeifers.com.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schrieffer from Schrieffer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schrieffer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, Our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schrieffer Red Angus.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
If you're serious about fishing, your boat better be too. At River City Sports, this isn't just inventory, it's purpose-built fishing machines. From Vexus with advanced infused composite construction to Skeeter for speed and performance to rugged aluminum like the Crestliner Fishhawk. Big water, back lakes, walleye, crappie, whatever you chase, they've got a rig for you. And around here, walleye fishing matters. River City Sports, they'll put you in a boat that's made to fish.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schrieffer from Schrieffer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schrieffer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schrieffer Red Angus.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, heard all across the Dakota Territory. I've been over 2 decades going on this here and working on the third here. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest here. And in at the ranch here is Master John Anderson coming all the way from the Leering Center of Minnesota. So I got to ask. Oh, first, I got to clarify a few things. My brother here just messaged me. He says, yes, so that was the Knights of Columbus up there back in Flasherback. He said the 2 bars downtown were the My Place Bar, which was owned by Polinsky's, and Lee's Bar on the other side. And I could not. I remember Polinsky having that other bar, but I don't remember the other side. So thanks, brother. Appreciate you that. And it's because of him I got into hunting back in the. I still to this day I remember when he brought one of the mule deer. He walked downstairs in the basement of the house. He said, "Check this out." And he had a mule deer head that he brought in, and that's what got me into hunting right there. So, but so during the break here, John Arman, John Anderson was telling me that his neighbor out in the Minnesota, Wilmer, right?
Wilmer, yeah, Wilmer, Minnesota. It's a little small development outside of town.
Yeah.
You really can't tell from drive by in the road, but there is some farmland around us. From my property, look down the hill. There's a 40 at the bottom of the hill. At the top of the hill, there's another probably half of a section.
Yeah.
And what he did on the top part is he let that go back to natural grass kind of thing. And the other side, he will trade it out between alfalfa and whatever, but he leaves a strip every season that he keeps planting corn over and over and over. And I'm just thinking to myself too, how much does it cost, just to lay that down?
Yeah. What does a bag of seed cost now, John Arman?
Oh my gosh. I want to say it's got to be $300.
Really? That much?
Yeah. I want to say, I don't ever look at it when I get it. I just put it on my tab, and then, I used to work. I got to pay for it later. They did. I got to say, Clayton was nice. He gave me some plot seed because he was going to mix me some beans up, and I don't know what happened there or whatever. And he was out branding somewhere, and so he said, just take the plots. But yeah, it's not cheap.
No. So is it still like the old day? I remember growing up, we always had to cultivate the corn. Are you cultivating or do you spray it now?
No, we just spray it,
Okay.
and again, it's one of those deals that I don't know how, they talk about chemicals being bad, and I don't know how you would farm nowadays, and I don't know how organic, we had a guy organic farm our place, and it just turned into a bunch of weeds. It's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be some ways to do it, and I've been watching some guys that have been putting stuff down, and then they crimp it, and there's just a bunch of different steps to it. And I go in there and I try to burn it down with Roundup, and I use another chemical this year that's a contact, and it kills broadleaf, because a lot of people think like Roundup will kill broadleaf, and it used to, but I don't think it does a very good job anymore when you use glyphosate. So I add something in there to kill the broadleaf, and hopefully I don't have to spray it again, but almost always out here, because we just don't get the rain. And it seems like the only thing that grows fast is weeds.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of fussy. Like when I'm filming and I'm on my soybean plot, I'll go out and pick weeds because I don't want to see a bunch of weeds in the video, because it's like, it makes me look like a bad farmer.
But even like the feeding side of it, like you'll see like a 5-gallon pail that you could tell that he's dumping out corn all throughout the winter time. So there's deer, there's pheasant and stuff that'll come into our area. But I mean, is that good for him?
Yeah. How much corn is too much for deer to get a little hot in there?
It's weird because, we got 80 acres of standing corn, and deer, I think when, they have to forage for it, they're eating some of the stalk, they're eating some of the whatever.
The cob or the leaves or whatever it does. Yeah.
And if you're dumping just straight corn on the ground, it's not good for deer. But they'll get, what do they call it, acetosis or something, and they have found deer with full stomachs full of corn dead. So you have to have that natural forage. Deer, if you have the browse, which we try to do, we've got parts of our pastures that we rotate cattle in, and we flash graze it, so there's always good nutritional stuff in there, whether it's trees, bushes, the yucca plants, all these things that they'll hit, and then they go to the cornfield, then they can handle it. But if they're just going straight to a corn pile every day and that's all they eat, it can be tough on them.
Yeah. You talked about yucca plants, and a lot of people don't realize when I call them bulbs on the top of the yucca plants, there is a certain time of the year when those have like just a massive amount of sugar in them, and the cows and everything in the world will just go crazy and eat those things. And a lot of people,
I just know every spring when you go out after winter, every one of our yucca plants is down to nothing.
Yeah.
And we don't have cattle through the winter time here, so it's like the deer, the rabbits, or something's gnawing on them, and like I said, they're chewed down to nothing.
Yeah, carry a lot of sugars in there. All right, so down in the South Dakota side, Mr. Bulgy says a bag of corn is $350 down that way.
Yeah,
so
that sounds about right. So soybeans aren't.
How many bags of corn do you need for a 10-acre food plot?
Well, I think it's one bag is. He can help me out. He's a farmer.
Is it a bag per acre or not?
No, it's a bag for like 4 acres, or 3 acres or something like that. So it's not for for me. It's a I need 4 bags, 5 bags, and I got plenty. But again, like if you're planting a lot of corn, holy cow! Just think of when these guys, have a pallet to that stuff coming in, the cost of it, and then the fertilizer, and then everything that goes into it. It's like by the time you're done, you're making a couple of dollars an acre. It seems like it's insane. That's why these guys farm so much. It's because there's just such a small margin.
You got to do it in bulk in order for it. So I'm looking at this. Okay, so for a food plot. So you got $1,750 into seed, $1,500 into fertilizer and weed control, $500 into fuel. Say you got roughly $4,000 into a little food plot. You divide that between
deer.
Divide that between the 40 pounds of meat you get off of a whitetail, and you're looking at $100. Yeah, so $100 a pound.
Yeah. There's nothing, I've said that. It's like, I just love it. I love the whole process of it. And it's like, I like farming. I like doing all that stuff. I like to I watch the deer grow. I said, you build a relationship with these deer. And honestly, I passed a deer last year that I was nuts to. And part of me is like, I didn't want to shoot it because I wanted to keep seeing it. And that's just dumb. But you do get caught up in it. And I love seeing deer mature. It's nice to see them grow, to get to the age of 5.5, 6.5, to see their potential. And a lot of people, like I said, when people sit there and say how easy it is and it must be nice, they really have no idea the amount of work that goes into, running a place. And again, we were fortunate that my dad bought this place in 68. It's really, we ranched a little bit. We know enough. I always said I know enough to be dangerous and not to do it. But I talked to my daughter about it, and I said, this is something that her and her future husband may want. I said, I don't think you guys want this. I don't think you guys understand how much work goes into this. It's like, people are like, I wish I had that, that much land. And I'm like, I'm glad I only have 2,000 acres. I can't imagine taking care of 10,000 acres.
Yeah.
The fencing, everything that goes in it, it's nonstop, taking care of land.
Well, when a lot of people say, well, it would be nice to do this and this, it'd be nice to put food plots in. It must be nice, right, to get a gratis tag every year. But when they look at the actual value that you have going into this, and that's not even including property tax and everything else you got to do alongside of that to keep that going. So it's expensive. It's an expensive deer.
Yep. And I've been following some of the posts, and they're starting to hammer on the landowners because in some areas, like out in eastern North Dakota, where they had that big die-off, there's an area that there's no tags for anybody except for landowners, and people are furious about it. And that's like, I feel their pain, but again, everybody's got the same opportunity in life. And if you want a gratis tag, you got to buy land, and it sucks because nowadays it's pretty tough to do.
And
but
the
I don't
people
know
that are doing that, John, when they come out to like areas out in this area, land is a little bit cheaper out here, but they buy it and they run the price up pretty high on it, and then when you get reassessed for your property taxes, it goes up, 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 and we'll cover more. We're up against our half-hour break. We'll be back right after these messages.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
If you're serious about fishing, your boat better be too. At River City Sports, this isn't just inventory, it's purpose-built fishing machines. From Vexus with advanced infused composite construction to Skeeter for speed and performance to rugged aluminum like the Crestliner Fishhawk. Big water, back lakes, walleye, crappie, whatever you chase, they've got a rig for you. And around here, walleye fishing matters. River City Sports, they'll put you in a boat that's made to fish.
Piper's Auctioneers offer over 2,200 acres of cropland, pasture land, and hunting land coming up on the auction calendar across the upper Midwest, including Wells, Rolette, Walsh, Trail, Emmons, and Burley counties in North Dakota, and 315 acres of premier grazing and hunting land on the outskirts of Glendive, Montana. Whether you're looking for productive cropland, quality pasture, or recreational ground, Piper's has the property for you. Don't miss these outstanding opportunities. For more information and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to pipers.com.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schreifer from Schreifer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schreifer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schrieffer Red Angus.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
If you're serious about fishing, your boat better be too. At River City Sports, this isn't just inventory, it's purpose-built fishing machines. From Vexus with advanced infused composite construction to Skeeter for speed and performance to rugged aluminum like the Crestliner Fishhawk. Big water, back lakes, walleye, crappie, whatever you chase, they've got a rig for you. And around here, walleye fishing matters. River City Sports, they'll put you in a boat that's made to fish.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's your tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schrieffer from Schrieffer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schrieffer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schrieffer Red Angus.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. All across the Dakota Territory, good to have you along here. It's dry across the country. The eastern side of the state of North and South Dakota, a little bit better, but definitely still drier out there. And John Arman, welcome back here to the program. Now, a couple of comments came in during the break, and Mr. Bolgi says you're close. He gets about 2.7 to 3 acres out of a bag of corn. And the mayor of Mobridge says, my wife's grandfather said, if you have enough money to get into farming, you have enough money to retire that day.
Like I said, they say farming's like going to Vegas and throwing $1 million on the table.
Well, wouldn't it be something though to be able to do that just once?
Yeah.
I'd go to the roulette table. At least you got a 50% chance of winning or losing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd be tough. That would be tough. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, when we were talking about, the tags, it just seems nowadays everybody's complaining. And the hard thing is that whether it's politics, it doesn't make a difference. There's an old saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And people just like to complain.
Yeah.
And welcome to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a problem, you got to fix it. And by bitching and complaining, it doesn't help anything. I always think these protests that people do, I'm like, you got nothing better to do. Does it really change things? Instead of protesting and wasting all that money, why don't you put it, the money where you want it to go, like to help the people that are homeless instead of protesting. And the same with hunting. It's like if we're short on deer tags, we got to figure out something to do to get more habitat or do something to open up access. They got to come up with something, and just complaining about it's not going to change it.
Yeah. A couple of text messages come in. It says $245 for corn seed if you pre-buy your seed in December. He said, Scott, I farm for a living and do farm, and a good chunk of it for deer and birds. Basically a dirty farmer.
my fellow neighbors and ranchers think I'm nuts, but when I'm enjoying the fall and they're thinking, damn sure wish I still had them tree rows and left some cover. Hard to find birds and deer in canola stubble and bean stubble. And
Yeah.
you and I have had this discussion, John, before. Is there's portions of this state that were never meant to have trees. And
Right.
you see it, a lot of people, they plant trees in the whether it was strips along their field or farmsteads even around the ranch here. This ground, I mean, the cedar trees and the pine trees they work good, but up here on the little plateau that I live on, these trees are coming to their end of life, and
Yep.
they're just dying. I mean, there's only a certain longevity on these things here, and a guy's going to have to start replanting here and there. But also, I look at that and I'm like, you can't find a lot of birds and stubble. I think the farming practices have changed so much over the years that,
Yes.
I mean, you look at, if you see these combines going through wheat fields, they're not taking it down and saving straw and baling up the straw. Some people might, but they're leaving, good 20, 24 inches of stubble out there. And there's plenty of birds and stuff like that, I would think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think it's a combination. It's like if you have nothing but stubble fields, if you have thousands of acres of cropland and there's no cover, you're not going to have a lot of birds. You got to have that combination. And we're fortunate in this area because we have the draws and coulees that are natural cover. I mean, it's like it's out. You're never going to farm them. You're never going to do anything. Like when you look at our 2,000 acre, ranch, there's 300 acres of cropland and that's it.
Yeah.
So you have unless you mismanage your place and graze it and destroy everything, you're always going to have cover. You're always going to have, if it's winter time and you have a bad winter, they can get out of the wind and things like that. But when you go out east, that's a problem. Like I said, there's no tree rows anymore. And there's not a lot of cover when it's blowing. And like I said, I think that, CRP was nice when we had it and it sure helped, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever bounce back to what we used to have just because of how, farming has changed in some areas, especially the eastern part of the state. And you can't blame these guys. They're trying to make a living, but the guys that like wildlife, like where I hunt out there, they spend a lot of money just like some of these other guys do. And they put in tree rows, they may put in drain tile and but then they do something on another piece of land. So some of those guys are working hard to keep habitat and others don't. And I think that's just the way it is. You're always going to have guys that love wildlife and put a value on it. And other guys just want to farm everything.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting conversation because I'm pro ag, man. I really am. I think the farmers and ranchers do more for wildlife than any organization ever does. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. And I'm going to go through some text messages first, and we're going to lead into this. It says, if you want to become a millionaire farming, start as a billionaire. I used to meet rhubarb at the bar. Okay, Marty, I'm not sure. You used to meet rhubarb at the bar in Flasher to go coon hunting. If you knew rhubarb, it was a good time. I don't know who rhubarb was. I don't remember that name at all. Okay. Then we have a couple here. It says, hopefully Governor Armstrong's legacy soil health and habitat program will help increase wildlife populations. Dead Wolf Resistance says the soybean farmers have destroyed thousands of acres of pasture land in Strasburg area, and it's all about money. They don't care about anything. Now, okay, Dead Wolf, I'm gonna have to argue. I'm gonna have to go the other way on this one on you. I don't think they're destroying anything by planting soybeans. You look at those soybean farm fields, at least in this area, because you talk about habitat. When people think habitat, I don't know what comes to mind. I have no idea. Is it trees? Is that what you consider habitat, or is it the Badlands? I mean, we got this big forest out here behind the house, John. We got hundreds of acres of thick pine trees, deep canyons, cedar trees all over the place. Is that good habitat? If it is, why don't we have any pheasants over here? Because pheasants live near cropland. We don't have cropland. All right. Yeah. That's where the pheasants are. All right. The best hunting I've ever done for pheasant was through stubble fields, soybean fields that have been combined. Uh, but that's the thing is, what is habitat in your mind? Because, yeah, we get a little bit of white-tailed deer down by the river. Everybody says, well, we need more habitat. That'll help the wildlife. Well, how about if EHD comes through and kills 2,000 head of deer? Is that because there was a lack of habitat? No, not at all.
But I think what's going to happen, Scott, is like, again, when you look at west versus east, it's just totally different.
Absolutely,
we will always have habitat out west because you can't. There's just nothing you can do. You're not going to farm the Badlands. You're not going to farm in our area. There's only so much you can break up and farm. So when you have these draws and coulees, you have that habitat. But out east, if you've been out east lately, it's like, again, I'm not against anything, but that land is, like I said, the areas that I've been to that have the wildlife, it's because guys are doing something where they're leaving trees, they're planting trees, they're leaving sloughs and not burning every slough. If they drain tile, which I never understood how they do that until I saw it. It's amazing what, they'll drain a whole quarter, but the guys that put back for wildlife will drain it and then they'll set aside something else. And I think that there's some regulations on that too. They just can't drain everything.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying farmers are bad, but when you look at east versus west, I think that's when we're struggling with deer population out east. They lost 40,000 deer from the winter, which we should have never lost, because you can prevent deer from starving. If you do feeding programs, if you have places that will leave, some crops standing, but people have to pony up, and they think that, it's going to be all the ranchers and farmers doing all this on their own dime. And that's not, we got to start helping them, especially, like I said, there's that one wildlife club out there and they've got it figured out. They used to go out and feed everything and dump food all over. Then they're like, why are we doing this when we can just go to the farmer and say, hey, we'll pay you exactly what it's worth to leave 40 acres of corn. And then in the spring, if you want to combine it, we'll pay you the difference. If it's an easy winter versus a hard winter, they leave corn, they leave soybeans. So they're paying these guys to leave because they know where the deer are going to winter. I mean, we all know where they're going to winter because they winter there every year. So these guys have got to figure out where they're leaving, paying these farmers to leave these crops. You can't pay a farmer $2 an acre, so some of these guys have got it figured out, and they didn't lose near the deer that these other places did where there was no, food left for them.
And I think you're going to, now you're crossing into this, now we're paying for this and we're paying for access. We're paying to do this. And everybody's, what they think about that. And all of a sudden it becomes a paid hunting now,
you know what? And people can complain all they want. There's no such thing as free. When you go on a guy's land and he lets you hunt, he spends a lot of money keeping those animals alive.
Yep.
And when there's nothing in this world you can do anywhere for free. And I know that old days are gone and people are going to complain, but the way I look at it, if you want to quit hunting, quit hunting. Right now it's tough getting tags anywhere. It's tough finding access. And I understand that, but you have to put something into it. You can't sit on your butt and expect to go hunt wherever you did as a kid. Those days are gone. So you do got to figure out, and you may have to pay. I go to Wyoming, I pay $500 trespass fee. Sometimes we pay $1,000 trespass fee. I'm a school teacher. I save my money because I love to hunt. Do I wish I didn't have to pay? Absolutely. But if I want to keep hunting and go out of state, I'm going to have to pay. And I think the days of not paying are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just buy your hunting license. And again, a lot of people will complain. There's an insane amount of government land along our river, and I hardly ever see anybody hunt there. And it's because it's hard hunting, so we still have some great hunting in this state that doesn't get utilized. I think a lot of people do get lazy and they expect things, to drive up in the farmer's yard and shoot his yard birds and things like that, which again, to each his own. But, people got to start putting in a little bit of effort in something they love.
Yeah. I think it comes down to working together with the landowners. I mean, you and I have been preaching this for a long time. A couple more comments here. Dead Wolf Resistance says the farmers out in Strasbourg he worked for, it was all pasture land. The soil's gone. The washouts will blow your mind. And I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. I'm just, there's always something, somebody wants to break up their own land. If it's their property, private property, I'm not against them doing whatever they want to do. Do I agree with it? Probably not all the time. But you see people overgraze pastures with cattle. You see people you see them undergraze, and that's not good for pastures either. And so you got to find that right happy medium sometimes. And but that's why we like to talk about this here. Another text comes in, says old stands of CRP is not the answer. After being in the grass for say 15 years, pheasants not in there, mainly deer and occasional grouse in there. And I agree with that. So, the CRP was never meant for wildlife. It was meant to take highly erodible land out of production and pay the farmer to do that. That's what it was for.
And it did, the first, I always said the first 2 or 3 years, up to, 4 years of the CRP was phenomenal because it was weeds, a lot of weeds until the grass got established. So it wasn't bad for wildlife by any means. Cause I remember when we had CRP all around us back home and the amount of deer I saw was insane. Deer love it.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that, Dr. Hutchins, a friend of mine, did phenomenal habitat for waterfowl. And with the waterfowl came pheasants, deer, and he had just an absolutely amazing place out by Dawson because of the work he put into putting in tree rows, doing all kinds of things to help nesting cover. It helped everything. But again, not everybody can afford to do like what we're doing here. But again, we have to lease out our place. Otherwise we wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And it helps. Like I said, we have a great tenant right now and rotating the pastures the way they're supposed to. The pastures look good. Everything looks good.
Yeah. So a message comes in, says, Scott, can you give us an update on all the pasture land lost out in the western side of the state because of the politicians and their secret security closing it down? I will give you an update of what I've seen. So I seen on a Facebook post here yesterday, I believe, that portions of the Theodore Roosevelt Park and the Mattahay Trail and this and this and this are going to be closed down, I think, from like toward the end of June through the Independence holiday into July a little bit because the 250th anniversary, the presidential library, all this going on. First and foremost, if you ask anybody about the presidential library that live out in this country, we're not real happy about it. It would have been better, John, if it would have been in Bismarck, where there was an airport right next to it. All right, but
yeah, true.
We don't like it. I can tell you this. So where I live, and if you've never been to my place, I live at the end of a section line where there is checkerboarded federal land. I'm not calling it public because I'm sorry. It's Forest Service land, right? So there has been unmarked vehicles that have been parked at the end of that section line, and they're going in and they're looking at every single aspect, every which way but loose, man. They're worried. I mean, you got 5 living presidents, I believe, that are coming in for this whole thing in Medora, for this presidential library hoopla that's going on. And they're already pretty active with, I don't know if it's Secret Service. I don't know what it is, but there's people that are coming in and not doing, it's not bird watching. I'll tell you that, John. But I do have a couple buddies I know that have some summer pasture that is close and around that. And this is the thing that really frustrates me working with Forest Service. They're like, well, you can't drive on this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You got to go only so many cows. You got to leave this much high of grass, no, even in the drought years and all this. But when it comes to the presidential library thing, they took away my buddies all the summer pasture, and they're using it as a parking lot. So it's you can't graze more than 20 head AUMs in there, but you can park 340 vehicles and crush all the grass down. That's fine. But as a rancher running cattle, you can't switch that corner post without a NEPA study. I mean, you can't dig up dirt without doing that. So there's a lot of ranchers out here that are fighting through this, and we just like to see the president just stay away.
Man, I didn't even know that was that big a deal. I had no idea about this, and I didn't know that there's presidents. Why are they coming here to look at a library? What's going to be so? I mean, is it going to be that big a deal?
Yeah. So I don't care if I'm supposed to say this or not. I'm going to tell you the dirty, ugly truth about this presidential library and how many deer it has killed. Okay. Everybody wants to talk about habitat, right? We need more habitat. We got to put money into habitat, but yet towns are getting bigger. Developments are getting larger. More cement and more highways and more homes and more businesses are going all over the place. And they never say anything about that. And they built this presidential library and they made it so it looks like there's like an earth mound over the top of it. So there's natural grasses and everything. So the deer are grazing this, and you pull into the library or whatever, and they jump off of this. I think it's like 3 stories or whatever. I mean, it's a drop. And they drop down, and they said, I talked to some people that were helping with the construction. They said every morning they're pulling away dead deer on the sidewalk in the front of this thing. Or injured deer, right? I mean, they break legs and everything. So don't talk about habitat and then you're building things where there should not be anything built. So that's my soapbox story. Okay, dead wolf resistance. You want to get me fired up? Talk about land out here and that'll get me fired up all the time, man. So
it's like I said, it's hard to accept. Like I said, these changes. Like I said, I'd like to turn back the clock, but we can't.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So they expect 15 to 20,000 people daily during the week of the library opening. I hear that. Plus I heard numbers up to at least 30, 40,000 at sometimes too. So, but anyway, buddy, we'll continue this a little bit. We're up against the end of the radio side of it. This goes so quickly when you're always on. So I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'm already a little bit late getting the outro song going on here. So we're going to say thanks for tuning in today and enjoy your weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Support your local farmers and ranchers. Anybody out there trying to work with the wildlife, eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur, wool, and make sure to get those relationships in place. Have yourself a great weekend, everybody. And thanks for tuning in to the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio Network. All right, man. Thank you, radio stations and everything. Hopefully everybody is out and cleared out of this. But yeah, this presidential library, man, you want to talk about upset people. And John, here's the thing, and both Johns, here's the thing that really is torquing us off that live out here is you're going to see all these people, like Wayne says, 15, 20,000 people daily that are coming out and looking at this going, this is so beautiful. I mean, the building that they built and the view, oh my God, it's absolutely stunning. Right? It is great. And they're building a wedding venue down by the golf course. And then they're going to see the golf course and look, my God, you got a golf course in the Badlands. And what are they going to do? We need to buy a place. We need to buy a place out here. Right? So they're going to be houses are going to be starting to build like crazy. You're going to start seeing the land values go up. What's that going to do with our taxes out here? Property taxes are going to be reassessed. They're going to go up. It's already been happening with all the Carson Wentz bought a whole bunch of land out here, and you got all these.
Did he?
Oh yeah, you got all these rich people that got money and they're buying stuff. I know it's beautiful land. Leave us alone. If you truly care about habitat, stop building in places that don't want you there. Plain and simple.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad I'm 61 years old.
I'm glad I'm gonna die before I see it all go to hell.
Yep, pretty much so.
All right, man. I got to head to a branding. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you.
You bet. See ya.
Take care.
Everybody here on the YouTube channels here, thank you for tuning in today. And thanks, Dead Wolf Resistance, for getting me fired up. Appreciate that, too. Oh, man.